Hello everyone, thank you for joining in the channel. Thank you for stopping by. Today we're finally doing an update on the RC build, the Junkyard build 2.0. If you're new to the channel, I already built something that I thought it would look like the parts. The idea came all from a junkyard, from existing part, and we pulled it out and put all these parts on one truck and made it run. I didn't like how it was, and it wasn't sturdy enough to also do another job, which is a little bit of light crawling, a trail truck mostly, and then to also do recoveries. I ran into this body here of a Ford, and I decided, let's get the cab and let's change the whole way that truck looks. This painted body was a tiny bit more than an unpainted body, and I'm not good at painting Lexan, so I thought, why not buy a painted one and save all kinds of problems on myself. The lens is clear to where the headlight should be. I was excited about that. And then I started looking into the details. Now, the problem with this existing build, the rear, like the back cab of the truck was made out of wood, and I didn't like that. No matter how much I try to cover and change the look of the front end, it kept looking like a racer looking machine, and I did not want that, since the front end of the body was from a Cobalt. So now the new body shows up, the Ford front end, the Ford cab I should say, and I don't want to talk bad things about the company, but I've purchased things from them before, and based on what you pay for things, everything is usually kind of equal and acceptable. First, what am I doing on the screen? What I'm doing is removing the old shenanigan that I had going on, which is a boom mock-up of where the boom was gonna be. Those two were gonna be joined up top by another piece of metal that rolled down into a pulley with a hook on it at the end. Something that I picked up from like a fishing store, and in my head it looked good, but then I changed my mind. So what I'm doing right now is removing all the old things to start installing the new things. Now, when you look at this body, you see how the stickers were applied and how the paint was done. It's really sad because the lines are so ridiculously crooked. Like, I don't know how old these kids that are putting these stickers on. And if you're an adult, you should lose your job. I don't care how cheap the body is. You should see that you put a sticker and painted the truck. That's the other problem. Like, it's already been painted, and you install these stickers in such a crooked way. Now I only have two choices. Either put something on top of them, which I really don't want, or I'm gonna have to rust or something on top of them to make them not so crooked. Anyways, at least now we have the truck on hoist, and now we are designing a template made out of cardboard to see how I'm gonna do the back. I kept looking around, and I finally decided to use aluminum or aluminium It depends on where you live. So the bottom or the top part of the transmission, it's gonna always stick out. If I wanted to make it as flat as possible, it's always gonna stick out. And I was trying to do also a panel where the shocks do not stick out, but then the floor would have been too high on the truck and it would look odd and not real. Therefore, I had to go back and change the design so the two shocks are gonna stick out a little bit from the bed. There's no way around this. I did try to design like some sort of a cantilever suspension where there's nothing extruding out. That proves to be too difficult, and when it did work, it doesn't perform well at all. So whether it is for recovery or whether it is for enjoying the trail or do any kind of crawling, that suspension was not gonna work for me. So we dumped that idea. Now here I'm trying to see what can I mount the body on, the cab in the front, and what can I mount the sheets of aluminum in the back. Just going through ideas, going through some points, see how the build is gonna be. There'll be no clips on cab of this truck, even though for some reason attaching magnets to the body and the chassis in the places where it kind of really matches proved to be a little difficult. But this is an option I'm not backing down on. There will be no clips. So here's some shoe glue that always comes handy, and I'm gonna use the old body posts to keep things lined up, some shoe glue, some clear tape, and have the magnets sitting on those. After I do a little bit of trimming, and that was the idea, to have the clipless body. So now the open wheels on the body needs to be cut out. Do as I say, not as I do. I mean, if you're building something like I am, a junkyard truck, it's probably not that important, but you need part of your tools. You should have Lexan scissors that cut on an angle. I used to have one. I let somebody borrow it. I've never seen it again. And this video took a long time to make because it started a while ago. I wasn't feeling good. I got sick, and then I got back to it, and then I stopped again. So there was a lot of back and forth, and this took forever. Here we also installed a final installation of the rear bumper, because now we decided that we kind of know where we want it. We installed the trailer hitch, of course, and some D-rings. And now some calculation is going on to prove to myself that I do not want the bed that high to cover the shock towers. The shock towers have to go through the rear bed. Otherwise, the floor is going to be too high. It's not going to look good. So to cut the Lexan, use regular scissors, use an X-Acto knife, use whatever you want to use, a hobby knife, so on. To get the best results possible, you do need to use a Lexan scissors. Now, I went and purchased this sheet of aluminum. I don't remember the details, the thickness and stuff. I wanted something not too hard to cut and not too flimsy at the same time. And I took the drawing from the paper and transferred it onto the aluminum. And here where the cutting was almost over and the folding started. So the middle hole that you see there on an angle, that's for the top of the transmission. I wanted to make it as flush as possible and it was gonna come out no matter what. So I figured we can cover it later. I had to start making the folds, which I already planned for them previously when I was drawing the template on cardboard and transferring it to the aluminum, because I didn't want to add too many aluminum pieces at the end. I wanted the main bed, floor and main piece to all be one section. Here we're also creating the smaller holes for the shocks to stick out of the bed, and we'll see what we do with those. So this is the general look now of the bed and the cab in the front. They're not properly mounted yet. The aluminum of course is not gonna work with the magnets that I have. My earth magnets are for steel, they don't work on aluminum. Therefore when you look at the bed now, you see that it would have been raised too much in order to avoid the shocks being extruding out. Therefore we have no choice but to have the shocks come out of the bed. This is what the general look of the truck is gonna be. Next would be mounting things and mounting lights and mounting the rear aluminum bed properly, and finish doing all the bends and the folds. And also I will be eventually installing the boom that's gonna go in somewhere towards the middle of the bed, side to side, but favoring the back. That's why the rear bed has to be installed very strongly to the frame of the truck, so when we do recoveries we're able actually to pull with it. So these are the cutout that you're seeing now for the shocks. Those are the ones I was trying to avoid to make and realized that I would have to make. I mentioned this previously. This is the hole that's for the top of the transmission to make room for it so the bed is sitting properly. And here we are still in folding and cutting. So the way I did it is on the original cardboard cutout, I already marked where I should be folding, where I should be cutting. Now my friend Mike told me that if I score this aluminum sheet with just a knife, it would make folding it much easier and it gives me better lines. And sure enough, after I tried it, I did the whole truck that way. I did all the aluminum that way. So all the lines were done that way after that, after he mentioned that. And it did make things much easier, and it did give much sharper folds to the aluminum. The next update on this truck, it will be coming out soon because I'm already further than what you're seeing. I just had to put this video together and get it out, and I didn't want to make it much longer than it needed to be, just to get you updated on where I'm at and what I'm doing. So after we do all these cuts and all these folds, we will end up with something like what I've already showed you previously, and I will show you right now. But I also wanted to share this with you, just a simple sheet of aluminum, transferring your idea to it. I'm not saying it's gonna be an amazing thing at the end. It's just go for it. You have an idea, try to do it. There's not a whole lot of investment in a piece of aluminum. If you don't like it, you can trash it, you can do something with it. Just give it a try and try to build what you do want to build. I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for stopping by the channel today. Until the next video, you know what to do. Please like, comment, subscribe, you know, all these things. And I will see you on the next one.